Welcome into episode 84 and a half of Coffee and Chel. As we're back after our lost episode. It was sad. We recorded an entire episode, a banger in my opinion, and the audio did not save it. It was a sad day for the boys, but myself, joined by Papa as well as Daddy Padre, and we are here to break down the newest content, which came out about an hour ago. So it's hot off the presses, brother. We're gonna get some fresh takes on these new cards. But fellas, it's been like 2 weeks since we've talked to the audience. Anything crazy going on in life right now? We'll start with Padre.
Not much. One of my kids a little sick, but that's about it. Just kind of trying to get through the whole holiday season without us missing Christmas again. I think we missed Christmas was 2 Christmases ago because we were all sick. So trying to avoid that again. So yeah, nothing crazy though. Just playing hockey, going to Blues games, same old, same old.
How are the Blues games? What are the vibes?
They're okay. It's a lot different when I go now, just because I'm not doing the emergency goalie stuff anymore. So
Yeah.
I can just kind of like, I don't know.
Is
Just
there a
freaking
lot
never.
of fans like in the arena, like that you talk to, like sit in your section and stuff? Because you have seasons.
Oh yeah, I not even to sound like there's no really good way to put it. There's a lot of people that know me from that I
Okay.
realized. There's a lot of Daddy Padres going around in the concourse because of the radio show that I call into, and
Oh, okay, yeah.
it's like an ongoing joke. So it's kind of funny. My wife just like rolls her eyes. She's like, "Good God!" Like they're yelling Daddy Padre. It's like almost if they're yelling like Papa goes, like like they're yelling that out loud.
You're the
'Cause,
low key celebrity there.
no, it's just funny because it's a small St. Louis is like a small city, but and like a small town feel too. It's just like so it's really everyone knows. It just feels like everyone knows everyone, but it's like a small community. But yeah, it's funny. Like I go to games, I see a lot of people I recognize, and I don't know. It's funny to keep in touch with people. But yeah, going to games isn't the same anymore. Especially when I bring my kids. It's a whole thing. I'm sure you've dealt with that too.
Have they?
So.
How have they been at the games? Like you got to use the earmuffs or no?
No, oh well, yeah,
With
when they're
Fisher?
real young. Fisher's kind of over. I mean, you're supposed to, but it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, I don't know. When we were kids,
That's true, I guess.
I didn't use it once I was past like one. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know, but I just covered his
Blowing out
ears
the
like,
eardrums is like half the experience as a kid.
Yeah.
yeah. So I never. He kind
Parents
of
don't
just
do
like
that, by the way.
we have 4 seats, so he kind of just like runs back and forth and be by like our legs the whole game. And like we get to like 2 periods, and I'm like, all right, we can go home because like I'm done
It's
with
the
it. And,
worst, yeah.
yeah, so it is what it is. I mean, he'll end up in a year probably just loving it, and my daughter actually really likes it. It's really cool when we go down there because I usually like text like Thomas or Pareka or one of them, and they always find us somehow and give us a puck. So like that makes her night. So that's like the best for that. So
That's pretty
yeah,
good. What about you, Brent? What have you been up to?
I got the Christmas tree up and did a little bit of Christmas shopping because like this year's the first year to decide I'm not going to procrastinate because I usually get to like the 23rd or 24th and go, oh no, I really need to go buy like all my gifts now. But this year I was like, I'm just going to go and buy everything I needed, like one round of the shops, and then went home, realized I had nothing, just bought everything on Amazon.
Bro, that's what it is, dude. Yo, a mall now is just an excuse to get out of your house. There's nothing
Yeah.
there, bro.
I did them all. I did them all, and I it's hard because they're like, oh, do you want us to? I'm like, I just paid cash. I was like me and my wife. But I gotta ask you guys this. How about this, real quick? We haven't done gifts. I don't even know how many years. Probably like maybe two. Like we were just like, I think I talked about this with you, Sleazy. I was like, you kind of just get like what you want now, right? So it's not like when you're a kid, you're like, oh, I want this toy, I want that toy, I want this bike, I want this new hockey thing. Like when you're older, you're just like, okay, like I need a new pair of gloves. Like I'm gonna go to the hockey store and get a new pair of gloves. Like now it's like I don't know. We need something new on the house. You know what I mean? So you don't go and you're kind of just like, I don't know. It's like a weird spot where me and my wife were kind of just like, all right, like we're just getting each other gifts just to get each other gifts almost. So like we took like 2 or 3 years off, and then this year's like, oh, I got you a gift, and I'm like, okay, crap. I'm like, well, now I gotta like go down to the mall and find some stuff and
Wander around the mall.
yeah. Yeah, but I found some good stuff. But
There you go.
it's. Have you guys like? What do you guys do? Like, have you guys done gifts like every year? You
This
guys
is
been
our
together with you?
this is our first year without kids or with a kid. So like
Yeah.
I think like it'll drastically change, especially if you have multiple kids, because like then it's like all about them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, we still get each other some. It's like so yes, we buy whatever we want whenever we want. Essentially, that's
Right.
how it's always worked. But we'll get each other that thing that we were like, it's too much, or we don't like. I didn't want to personally buy it, but like it ends up being the same stuff anyways. But like, actually, I don't want to spoil it because she might know. She might know. Some people follow her on Instagram and stuff. So I
Oh
don't wanna spoil-
God.
I got her something
Well,
pretty good. So But
Yeah,
like
she
I
was
don't know.
she was asking me, she's like, "Oh, what do you want?" I'm like, "Well, I could use like a new webcam or a new mic since everyone
There
on the
you
podcast comments."
go.
Like everyone in the comments bitches about it, but I'm like, I don't really know if I like want it that bad. And she's like, "Well, you can just go get it." I'm like, "Well, there we go. See, we're doing it again. Like that's what we do. We just go
Yeah,
get things." So
but you can't do it yourself because you just don't
right,
justify it. But yeah, like that's what we use
yeah,
Christmas for. Christmas is that like, you know what? Fine, we'll just go do it.
yeah.
What about you, Brent? You guys buy
Yeah,
each
like
other?
me and my wife, yeah, we get each other like stockings. We do each other's stocking, but like the running joke is that I am like the worst elf ever in terms of getting stuff
Oh
for her
no.
in her stocking. And so every year I just make it a little bit worse every year.
Like an
So
apple?
it's been a decade. So like the first couple of years, like they weren't that bad, and then also she's like, man, like your stockings kind of suck. And her mom was like, yeah, you need to like add in this and that, and like these soaps and from like Lush and all these places. So I was like, no problem, I got you. So I went to Lush and I like got like one of like the bath bomb like containers, like a whole bunch of like those. I bought them, basically took them out of the bags, and I started putting like beans and shit inside of like the containers as a joke. And she opened it up, she's
Yes.
like, "Oh, it's a new bath bomb," and it's just a can of black beans. She's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Man," and I started writing notes to be like, "Sorry, you got the drunk elf this year for like this
Oh my
that packed your
god, dude.
stocking." So, and I've just been one upping myself like every year, and it's just slowly getting more and more annoying. She's like, "Okay, I get it. Like, I get it. Stop it." I'm like, "No problem. This year's gonna be a good one." And then I just make it even worse, and I just buy her like a nice gift on the side. But all right, and
There
here
you
you go.
go.
It's
There
a
you
nice
go.
gift.
See, yo, my wife always does like, and her family is like big on stockings, and they're full, but it's mostly like toiletries and like candy and stuff. Dude, I was throwing when we first started dating, like Blu-rays and like crazy. I remember the first year she was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like I spent like probably like $150 on her stocking, and I was like, "Yeah, like isn't that what you do?" She's like, "No, it's like $50 maybe." But yeah, I don't know. I also did I was like January 1st. If everything's not done, I'm gonna lose my mind. I want Christmas, our first Christmas with our kiddo, to be like none of the anxiety filled last week where you gotta go and get stuff. I personally hate Christmas because of that. Like the anxiety of like you need to get everyone a gift, and it's like what if it wasn't good, and but then the day comes and it's great, right? Like
Shit.
it is great, but. All right, let's get into what the boys want to hear about. All right, and that's team builders. So they came out as of this recording an hour and 20 minutes ago. Should we do a quick ranking first, or how do you want to do this?
Do you want me to pull
I think
each
the
one up on
ranking
the
sounds
screen?
good.
And
Yeah, sure. You
we
can
can
pull
go.
them up on your screen. We can see them. Okay, so
Uh,
okay, let's
who do you
go.
want first?
Let's do worst to last. Let's do worst to
Okay.
last. My opinion, Leclerc.
Yeah.
Let's pull
Yeah,
Leclerc.
I'm
John
gonna take a look at it myself. I need to pull them up here.
John, John Leclerc. Like we were talking about this before the podcast, like how basically he's the type of guy that you can use like without abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely like his size. I mean, that's one thing me and you talked about this morning. We were talking about pre-team builders even knowing they were coming out. We're like, if you notice, like last year, they would always go up in height, right? They were like kind of
Yeah.
like normal height, 6'2", 6'3", then 6'4", 6'5", and then like the bigglers, 6'6", and up. Like,
Yeah.
it was like Alexiak, Brian Boyle, and I can't remember the last one.
Antropov, I think.
Antropov or something. So it's like, so obviously there's a progression. And when I talked to Hawk like 2 years ago, he actually said like, well, that's the whole point. He's like, they're supposed to be like goofy, not goofy, but you know what I mean? Like almost kind of obscure meta cards because obviously they know
They
that
need
we love
something
the
to
big guys.
chase, like something to chase.
Right. So I noticed right away, Brent, the back ashes on him. Right?
I wish he had gold truck on him. That would have been a lot better than close quarters, and that would have made him like a much better card in my. What I'm thinking through like his build, like he's like Todd Bertuzzi from last year.
Yeah,
except
yeah.
without the gold truck.
Yeah, that's it. That's interesting. That a lot of them, yeah, like because they're so big, there isn't really like an offense. I mean, I guess technically there is, but like, I was saying this earlier to you guys that like every card. So there's 6 of them, right? Not 4. So there's definitely gonna be 2 that aren't really made because most no money spent guys or most people aren't gonna go out and make an extra 2 at least right away. A lot of people have all of them because there just hasn't been a ton of great content that's like super sought after. So everyone's been slowly making them. So there will be 2 that won't get made. I would assume this would be one. But the one thing about John Leclerc that's interesting is that you have to be able to have cards if you're going to play like a top end team that can go in your lineup that don't require abilities. And John Leclerc doesn't require an ability. So he's like a perfect, like after McDavid or Gretzky. He's going to play first line for my team until I get Gretzky, which should be maybe tomorrow. But like, that's where I would kind of fit him in. And while, third line, if you have him on your third line, you have a significant advantage over a lot of people probably.
But the nice thing about him, though, too, is that he's kind of like your shutdown / ozone forward, where you throw him on a line with two other big guys. And if you're up late in the game, you throw that line out there, and he's going to be able to bump the guys off the puck in your end. And you bring him down low into the other end if you need to, like, kill some time. This is, like, the perfect card to do that.
That's true. Yep. No, I agree. Stu, so are we in agreement this is number 6?
Yeah, that's the worst one, or
right.
Not. You know what I mean? Like they're not bad. It's just not as.
He's of the other. You'd rather have the other 5.
Right.
23 stealth, the least good. Everybody wins.
Yep.
Yeah,
the least good. True. All right, Papa. Who's number 5 for you?
Oh, it's like, let's take a look at like the D-men here. Let's see like what's Willie Mitchell like in Robin Regeer's stats. Okay, so like O'Coin 92 speed, Mitchell 92 speed.
Which one do you want to see? Robin Regeer.
Regeer. Okay. Oh, geez. Like these guys are all like almost equal.
Yeah.
I think
they're
that
all the
it's
same tier.
The next like number 5 and number 4 is Robin Regeer or Willie Mitchell. Like it's whatever one you don't.
They're both so good. This
they're
is
almost
actually,
identical.
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Willie Mitchell has quick pick though.
6'3", 222, and Mitchell is what? He's also 6'3", right?
Yeah, he's also.
I think they're all like 6'3".
Yeah, 6'3".
This is so fresh that we're all just scrambling. Like, wait a minute, who's what? What stats are here?
And Willie Mitchell. I mean, a lot of these
defensive
guys
awareness on him too.
And if they have wingman, like that's another thing too that I'm like curious about is like if I can get that activated because it's
wingman,
previous cards or accelerator boost. But it's like that is like huge now because before there was really no skating abilities on.
You couldn't activate them anyways because it was so hard. This release with the 3 and they're all customizable was super interesting because I could get multiple synergies activated, which completely changes it. But yeah, I like Mitchell because Gold Shutdown is all you really need, and I think Quick Pick is interesting too. If you go back to Regeer, he's got 99 body checking and truculence. Like I don't.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I think
which means he's gonna be a penalty machine.
And you don't have. We'll talk about that in a little bit actually. And then he's got Shutdown, which I think is overkill. So you could maybe go Silver Shutdown and not touch truculence because I think Shutdown is maybe better. It's very close. And then the other abilities are kind of whatever.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
This year, I feel like compared to other years, and this is another thing that like maybe it's just because the new content team. Usually, it would have been like you get truck, but you don't get the stick 'em up or the shutdown.
Yeah.
Now there was some times where you would like later in the year get that, but it's almost like I've said to you guys before. In my opinion, shutdown is literally truculence and stick 'em up combined, just dumbed down a little bit.
Shutdown is literally those two combined, and it's supposed to only activate off the rush, but
off the rush.
Your trade off is off the cycle. You don't get it.
Which this whole game right now is off the rush, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the whole game is off the rush right now. See, at least it seems like it.
All right, who's your number? So we're in agreement that 4 and 5 is Mitchell and Regeer, whatever one you want to choose. Okay, who's your number 3?
It's okay. Let's go back to the forwards again.
I'm the only one. I'm the only one that's played with them, right?
Yeah, I haven't played the game yet. I'm gonna go Shanahan.
Ooh.
I actually am too. I thought you were gonna go a coin. Okay, I am in agreement.
There's a lot of like good righties right now. In terms of,
they just released a few
on the top end.
Here's an example. I have them on my third line. Yeah, I like him on my third line, and like I'd rather use Eichel and I'm gonna upgrade Eichel, but I'd rather use Eichel over him just because that custom stride. And don't get me wrong, like I think Shanny's gonna be really good, but it's one of those things where it's like, is he better than Mario? No. He's not. Even if I had McKinnon, he'd be on my fourth line.
Do it in a vacuum, though. You gotta like if you're ranked, like you gotta do it in a vacuum. Like
no, if I'm comparing them to each other, yes. Yeah. I'm not sorry, not if I'm doing it on my own team, but yes, it's a good card. It's kind of like an Ovechkin, basically.
Yeah, it's just like a jacked up.
I'd probably put him with Leclerc as like on my shutdown / ozone line together. Leclerc and Shanahan in line 3.
Yeah, if you have Lemieux, I agree. I think that Lemieux is probably the only one that I would. The Eichel's a very, very good card. I think it's just a lot of it's placebo and who you enjoy using. I think that's why you like Eichel so much, just because it's been like using him. Like if you were to put like if I were to give you a card and you didn't know who it was, you'd probably do just as well, if not better, with Shanahan if you didn't know. I think, but like you, how do you have him? He just got an 89 today, didn't he?
Yeah, I gotta
So
get him up.
92 speed. They have about the same shooting and the same speed, but he's just a little bit lighter and shorter.
Yeah.
It's like goofy custom stride, man. And then we're
No,
gonna
yeah.
go back to coin. I think. I think he's the
Dude, a coin felt. So I was telling you guys this earlier. I played 2 games, and a coin was the card I noticed the most. Like he is so fast. It reminded me of Breezewall, like at the launch like week and whatnot. It was wow. The skating was so good, and he's got silver truculence. Thunderclap, I don't think you need, but you could go shutdown or
Silver
truculence.
shutdown. Yeah.
Heat Seeker, man. I watched a TikTok by a guy named. You know what? I want to get this right. I think it was Red Champ or Red. What was it? But he did a video. I'll get it in a second here. Did a video on in practice mode. He went and he tested where Heat Seeker activates from, and it's literally almost up to the hash marks, and 3 feet off the wall. So like, and he was able to get it activated, and I was just like, oh, okay, like that. Yeah, it's Red Champ on TikTok, RedChaamp. He's got a video on Heat Seeker and made it really interesting because like I don't think a lot of people are using Heat Seeker as much yet. Maybe after the patch they didn't realize it, but it's a sneaky good ability. But anyways, I just noticed him by far the most so far in my first few games. I really like his ability combo. His attributes are great, and he's a perfect replacement for Breezewall because I was nervous. Breezewall was so good.
Yeah, no, without a
Agreed,
doubt.
yep.
Are you running truck and shutdown on him or no?
I put
Just shutdown for me.
I just put shutdown on him in the 2 games I played. It was truculence, like it's only beneficial
hold
because
up.
you know it's
99
100%.
endurance.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
That's
Oh,
because
wow.
that's because I have this
well,
on him.
yeah,
and
not
this.
checking boost, but
You-
you put yeah.
I'm
still
gonna,
though.
It's at
I'm
You're
gonna
getting
get
those
checking-
activated.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a point to get checking boost because I think it's that important this year. Which goes back to what we were talking about in the previous episode, or the one that didn't record. The Born Leader
last
almost
episode.
becomes not as important. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still not bad, but if you can start getting these endurance guys up on these special cards, you know, then I don't know. You should try out that Thunderclap sleazy and let me know if you like it.
I was
If you
trying
haven't
to,
yet.
but I'm still under the same thought process that like like I still think some of the strategies are not working correctly. There's no way that everyone I play is running tight point. Like I don't know
Dude,
about you guys.
I don't
like,
know what's going on with the AI. They just come right after you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm not on an island here. Like because I've tried to make a point of it with like Gold 1T, Heat Seeker, and every time I go to do it, they're manually controlling their forward, bringing them back down in skill zoning, but their defensemen are just right in my face immediately. And I'm just like, man, this has to be tight point being staggered or something again, like when it was all messed
Oh,
up.
like
before.
23?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Maybe it's just working differently now, but I don't know. I can never just try it. But yeah, like I've noticed Heat Seeker when I still go for a lot of tip shots and stuff. So number 1 though, easily was Medano. So
Yeah,
I used
Oh, yeah.
I used Heritage McDavid when he first came out, and that was like a far and away the best card in the game. First couple games of Medano, I used Gold Wheels, Unstoppable Force, and Elite Edges, and it was by far the most noticeable card like that I've used all year. Like and I didn't even get Speed Boost active. That's the wild thing about Medano is that he can get Speed Boost and Accelerate Boost and have 97 speed and acceleration at 6'3", 212. I was stunned at that. I feel like it's almost a mistake because eventually when
This card's gonna be in your team the whole this team is gonna be it's gotta be on your team like even with 93
Yeah.
team builders, 96 team builders.
I don't know how they're gonna like exactly, and especially when Team of the Year comes out and you get like that +3 to a synergy. So it's way easier to activate Speed Boost. It's still hard to activate Speed Boost because not many cards have it.
yeah.
So
I
you
was
really
just
got to
looking at
hammer
that.
your lineup. But man, it was sniper forward, defensive boost I had on there too, and the face-offs were a little annoying. A lot of people were like, dude, Polix came in my chat. I gave him shit. He was like, "There's no centerman," and I'm like, "Wait a minute." I go and look. I'm like, "Medano has 90 face-offs." Like, what do you mean? He's like, "He's too good. He's a winger. He's too fast." I'm like, "Oh EA, stupid you. You made good card too good to be a centerman." But he's not wrong. He's probably better on the wing, especially in competitive play. But he does get up with defensive boost up to 93 or 94, I believe. But are you guys going to play him on the wing? I know you are, but Papa?
I'm gonna use him as a center because I don't want to be taking McDavid off the first line just because of that reason alone. I'm gonna put Modano as a center. I'll throw the two face-off synergies on him to get him up to like 96. I guess it is. So give him the 96. It's good enough for now. And I'll because McDavid can't get dethroned off the first line. Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. No. McDavid's built different. Like he's just there's something about that card about his cards that are just so good. So yeah, everyone's talking about Nieuwendyk. You remade Nieuwendyk?
Yeah, just because like I know I'm gonna build the next team builder. I'm still debating on what I'm gonna do if I do it tonight or not, and just buy the rest of them because I could probably get the last one, which is Leclerc. But then it's like, okay, then I have, these are my centermen that pretty much, and I'm just like, well, I kind of rather just not do that for like a weekend and maybe just get another quick 19, 20 wins, whatever, and then do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, chat or anybody in the comments, if you're wondering why I'm running this, Sleazy kind of mentioned in his video, I'm trying out this quick pick thing, and Duncan Dorky, aka Duncan Deli,
that's an awesome
Deli, did a big test with Larson as the infamous 15-game winner on Old Gen, and the quick pick. I don't know about you guys, but this will get to my point. And I'm also using Pesci with silver. I know Deli's gonna throw out a video. I know Sleazy mentioned in his video, but it's really crazy. Like right now, I think this will kind of go in. I mean, are we good on team builders?
Yeah, we're good. Yep.
Okay. Going into like the last patch. Hopefully for future patches, I feel like at least the current state of the game is blow down the boards, either force it or cut to the corner, curl, and then force it again. I give a shout out to our buddy, resident troll of Sleazy's chat, Dirt Star Blaster, Dirt Star DSB Inc. Guy's a 2-ping warrior. Servers in his backyard, and I've never seen anybody. It's kind of like Louis Vuitton way up gaming. Never seen a guy better at short side wrist shots than way up gaming. Never seen a guy better at forcing than Durstar. I don't know how they do it because I suck at it, and I think I'm an okay player, and I can't even do it as good as that.
I wonder if the ping really does. I mean,
I think it does.
Like what ping would impact is your input. So
right.
Like if you're blocking or stick checking or anything like that, you're slightly behind what they're doing. So I guess that would make sense. Because I play QCs every day. That's all I play.
Right.
And like there's games where I'll let 4 in, and I'm someone that just literally sits and interferes. So I don't give up a lot of those anymore. But there's some games where it's just like there's nothing I can do.
Right. No, and that's how I feel. And I've showed you guys plenty of videos, and anybody wants to see videos, DM me on Twitter, ask me to join my Discord. You can look at all 10 of my videos I posted where I'm facing belly button of the puck. Puck just hits my stick, goes right through, goes through my leg, everything you can think of. And I feel like I should be getting rewarded because I'm playing manual defense. And at least right now, I don't know if it's at all levels, but definitely the high end level, it is a force festival. I watched Polgs this past weekend play for a jersey. And they were like
he was trying to win a tournament. Don't belittle it. He still won it.
Well, he was like joking about it.
Yes,
That's why I was joking too.
New Jersey hosts an event for a signed he-shirt jersey.
Yeah. So it was funny because I watched it and they went to double overtime, game 3, 8-7, and it was just like force. And Polg's like, I don't even know what to do. And so I told Deli, I'm like, listen, quick pick never worked in years past. Deli has like 1 million coins. I'm like, can you do me a favor? I go make this list. I thought originally for some reason it cost 140 cards to make them. It only costs 40, so it's really not that bad. And I'm like, just let me know because he's the only guy in the game with gold quick pick. Then there's 3 other guys now with Willie Mitchell that have silver. Pesci, Willie Mitchell, and Jack Johnson.
Yes.
Team builder, which is not really usable now. But we noticed in the game with the gold, it picks off everything. And you don't even have to be facing the guy. Your back could be turned. He's even sticking out the stick like 5 feet to grab it. It's crazy. Silver's a little bit more like knock it down maybe. Sometimes it picks it up clean. Most times it just knocks it down. But I noticed it like working. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to try it for a weekend. Why not? Because I'm just so sick of playing, in my opinion, good D and not getting rewarded for it. And I just think at least going forward, hopefully there's some sort of just like a little bit of tuning. Because like you've said before, it's almost like they turn the interceptions off. I describe
think it's
it as
off. I legitimately think it's off. And I think that it isn't on purpose. I think that there's maybe something when it's on that they really don't like that makes the gameplay weird. So because I know for a fact the interference in the front is intended. They left that intended so that you could interfere with the backdoor player, which thank God they did.
Have you tried Bouncer?
No, but it doesn't. I don't know if it would impact enough because you can shove check anyone with
Right.
anyone. It doesn't really matter. But I am gonna make or sorry, what I wanted to bring up was in the 2 games I played, Willie Mitchell has quick pick, and he
Mhm.
had a nasty behind the back intercept thing, and while I was playing, I was like, okay, like, so I don't know.
So I describe it as like with the guys with no quick pick, it's almost like they're playing blindfolded.
Yeah.
Because when I watch a replay, it's almost like they don't see the pucks coming in. They're just like looking straight ahead. But when they're on quick pick, they're just like just like grabbing the. I mean, it's like crazy. I'm like, what is going on? Like this is the weirdest. It's almost like too fake, and then it's almost too fake the other way. So it's like if we can just find a happy medium. I mean, so Brent, I feel like you kind of had a similar. Maybe it's not as bad as me saying it, but I mean, have you agreed that the forces are a little much?
Oh, like, yes. If I'm playing a guy that goes for a lot of forces, like every time I'm in my own end, I am like sitting there, booty
all you're
cheeks
doing.
clenched, going,
Yeah, you're
"Do
just
not
hammering
send
it.
this one over." And I'm like, "Is he about to throw it over?" And all of a sudden, right through 3 sticks in the back of my net. It's like, yeah, should have seen that one coming. Or maybe I shouldn't have because, like, think about NHL 22. This wasn't a problem. You played good D
No.
in 22.
That's because they turned it back on.
Yeah.
21, they didn't
Nice.
have it on, and it was bad.
Yes.
This is almost 21 level in
It's-
terms of forces this year.
It's got it. Yeah, it's getting there. The thing is when
The
you.
only difference is auto sauce from 21, whereas we don't have
I
that now.
forgot about that, dude. The auto sauce. Oh my goodness. I get tape
Yeah.
to tape actually does it. I think.
Yeah,
Which
but it's such.
It's still.
There's so many better
Yeah,
things than
there
tape to
is.
tape.
Yeah, because you could just manually sauce.
Yes.
But no, I agree. I'm interested to try out quick pick a little bit more fully. I think that we do need to see some more some players. I just bought Ottinger as well. I was like, all right, F it. The whole team's different. Let's just
I saw you do it.
So I went and paid like $80K. Dumb. Please don't do that, chat. Wait for again. There's gonna be a Markstrom or some other big goalie coming out. Then they will give showstopper to everyone for a little while, and Ottinger will fall in price. But someone asked me, "Did you notice him?" And I said no because he didn't get tired, which was I
So he
think
got
the whole
scored on
point.
before he got tired.
Yeah.
That was a problem with him. For me, he
yeah,
was Swiss cheese. He was so bad.
Interesting.
He lasted like 7 Hut Champs games. Then I literally lost my mind on stream and threw Markstrom back in with light work and never looked back.
It's interesting. It's interesting because I still think goaltender doesn't matter at all. But like his ability, no matter what, you're not getting the desperation goals against.
No.
Like, cause he didn't get tired. So I don't know. It's interesting.
I think that's worth it in itself because, in my opinion, this is what I was just saying earlier, Rick. I like going and testing all these abilities, right? Like it's a quick pick in years past, I was like, it's useless. This year, I was like, you know what? I played Lidstrom. I was like, holy crap, it works, right? That's why I want to try it myself. Well, going back to the Ottinger thing, it's like all these goalies let in crap goals no matter what, big, small, this ability, that ability, you name it. But the only thing that like maybe we can actually see a difference is like, at least my goalie doesn't get. At least my goalie doesn't get tired. You know what I mean? Like other than that, like he's gonna let in garbage goals. I'm gonna poke it in my own net. It's gonna hit off a skate and go in. He's gonna mess up covering the puck. Like it's all these stupid things that they created a year ago with Pete with the freaking game that he's made goalies goofy. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Where I think I'm gonna try it once it's on another goalie because I just can't justify spending 100K right now on him.
Bad, yeah.
But I will say I tested out light work in glove side, perfect. I don't know about you, Brent, but I think glove saves they'll almost make any glove save, but blocker, that's a different story. That's where wrist shots are not. I'm like, man, I thought it was like wrist shots, but it's like they get beat on wrist shots on light work. I've noticed because I've tried out that Brodeur, and it has gold light work, and he gets beat blocker side, but glove side he doesn't get beat at all.
Interesting.
What about you, Brent?
Yeah,
You think
like,
I'm
so
wrong?
like for me, like at least since this patch, like, there's a lot more goals that are happening, especially off of just
Right.
like just throwing a wrister on like any goalie, especially from far out. That's like the most annoying. There's a few goals in my last champs run where I was like, there is no way that this puck just sailed in clean. But I'm humming around like an 84 save percentage with Markstrom with silver light work, which I think is pretty good for this patch. Like pre-patch, 84 was maybe on the in like the lower end because you were getting like some goalies were getting 90% save before this patch.
Right.
But now it seems to be like if you're around 85%, that's good.
Yeah.
I want to try out butterfly effect even though I got just to test it anyways, just to see like it's not even so much like I said they're all gonna let in garbage goals, but if it's like they can make that one or two like you've said before in the past days, like the wow saves, that's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? Just like 2 or 3 a game where it's like, thank God, he had that
really
on.
like. I really think it only happens on higher rated goaltenders. I really think there's so like what I noticed my Hut Champs run. I didn't even finish my Champs run because I got stuck again with trying to do 20 games in one day because I'm trying to get Rivals games done. When Rivals is not burst, I can't start my Hut Champs run until Saturday during the day and Sunday even really because I can't play Rivals for 10 hours. You basically have to play 10 like 8 hours in one day to really knock out a chunk of it. I just think that the rewards are really really good, and to be honest, man, Champs is like the only like this is gonna sound crazy, but because I'm not Division 1 and I've just struggled so much over the last couple of years, it's at least a chase to me. So I'm like enjoying Rivals more than Champs. If that makes any sense. Like it's weird because like 15 wins, if you're not getting top 100, it doesn't really matter how much better you do in Champs than you know what I mean. Because I mean, I can still get 14 wins in Champs, but it's like Rivals is frustrating to me because at least I'm, I don't know. It's weird. It's something I've noticed recently. I actually don't mind playing Rivals. Like I don't want to play it as much as I have to get the rewards, but I don't know. I've just noticed it a little bit more. But
Something we can reiterate about is what we talked about last week on the Lost episode, where we're talking about like how can they make Champs more interesting in terms of maybe not necessarily changing the rewards, but changing how Champs ranking works in terms of at the beginning of the year, depending on how you place, and there's those little points that are next to your rank every week, those add up and give you and at the beginning of the year you pick like North America or Europe and it gives you your NA champs rank or your EU champs rank. Something to actually play for in terms of like I want to up my rank at like it's a flex. It's not
that's
like
it. There's none of that.
It's not like it doesn't lose EA any money. If anything, people will be like, damn, I want to upgrade my team so that I can have a better champs rank. And, like it'd be cool to be like, I'm ranked 23 NA in Hut Champs. Or some guys on the lower end, they see themselves climbing their ranks every week. Like, okay,
that's what I'm feeling with Rivals.
Rank 4,000 I was ranked 4,000 Hut Champs player. Now I'm a rank 3,000, and then all of a sudden 2 with 1. Next year you're like a top 500. It's just something that they could add to the game where every week every win matters. If you care about that kind of thing.
For a decade, bro, the entire online game of NHL and 1v1 was versus with a leaderboard that was an elo thing. That was it. So like the entire thing was carried by your just elo rank of versus. That was it, right? So like there's still a positive in that, and I agree. I think there should be like a game cycled Hut Champs like leaderboard, just something. I think that'd be sick. And I agree. I think that the wins and the rewards should be just win based the whole way through. Like if you hit 18, doesn't matter because the major issue that this whole game runs into is that it is not just next gen or old gen or it's server. So it's not even Europe versus NA. It's literally like Quebec versus Ontario versus Alberta versus, California. Like you're playing against people in your region, right? And those are weighted far differently. Like I'll be honest with you. You get an Ontario 20-0 is far different than a 20-0 out west. Like it's not even close in my opinion.
Nah,
shut your mouth. So like I wish if that's the case, you shouldn't be until they can do like a leaderboard like that. It should be like, okay, you got 20-0. Here is 20-0's ranking. Like I don't get why they don't do that. Is it because too many people would get that reward?
So are you going to like with what I said last week, which is obviously no one heard this, but my thing has always been with the champs leaderboard. I said if you get 20 wins, you get 89 tays.
Yes.
If you get 19 wins, you get 88 tays. Go down, go on. That way, and I like made the joke about like don't be sod and how he had HK playing his account that one time and then got banned and then he got unbanned and after like 4 months after he was supposed to serve a year-long ban, but we'll let that
appealed,
slide.
Bro.
And then he appealed with the who's the judge? Old Clapperton. Anyway, so I was joking about that because like just using him as an example, he's a Hawks fan, right? So he wanted the taste. Well, if he got 15 wins, at least he could get the 83 or 4, whatever it is, 84 Tays. That way, at least he still has it,
You know,
and it's a different card art, and it's more rare because like we're talking about the Bobby Orr with like the different card art, right? Like this one's gold and this one's this color. It's like, well, then you could differentiate the two, right? So maybe the 89 Tays is
gold board
he's
or
wearing this
something.
jersey. I don't know, just like do something different, right? So, and I understand it's like more work, like whatever, but I'm just making the point, like at least it's different, at least it's unique. At least everyone can get it, like because like I'm competing against Papa. I'm never gonna play Papa. I'm competing against Eki. I'm never gonna play Eki because of our servers. So it's like, why am I competing against somebody, but I'm not able to play him? I'm not able to knock Papa out and give him 19 wins instead of 20 wins. So I've always said it's so goofy how we compete against people and we really don't compete against them though. So I've always said like they should make it 20 wins as this reward and so on and so on and so on. But
No,
it would kind of get.
it'd be interesting. It would be interesting. Like, let's say every month they do Hut Champs cards, which they do, right? So that's 4 weeks, right? Imagine every week there's a choice pack, and you could choose one of the cards that you get, and based on where you finish, that's the one you get. So once you get to what would be 87, so it's 87, 86, 85, 84, 83, 82. That's 7 wins. Once you get to 13 wins, you get your rewards, your collectibles, but you also get an 82 Jonathan Taves. And for every win higher, you get one of the cards that you want for whatever week, but it's like that rated card, so you don't have to spend. You're saving yourself collectibles each time. I think that'd be a really interesting way because if you get in the top 10 of Hut Champs, like that's such an accomplishment. And I get that they don't want the reason why there isn't guaranteed rewards is because they want a rubber band. They don't want the best players to get the best cards, and they continually that expand the gap of like teams, right? But in my opinion, they're getting so many cards that it doesn't really matter because you just change the volume in for sets, right? So it would be cool. I agree to just give us those cards based on how you did, and then it saves you the collectibles going up. And I think it'd be pretty easy to give out. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if they'd be able to do that. But I think that's an interesting way. And then like the start of the month, we get our new sets for Hut Champs. So like it's just I don't know. I think that would add something to it because every win does matter because they fixed it this year where every win gives you another collectible. But imagine now it's like, do I save 15, 20K because now my Taves is an 86 off the rip, right? It's not an 87. I think that'd be interesting. I do think that would be good. Let's touch on the patch. So we got word of a new patch. A lot of World of Chel stuff. But from what I can see, the main fix here is boarding. Papa, they're taking away boarding calls.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, touch on that a little bit. I mean, I'll pull it up. I'll get the wording here.
I think I went on a rant like 2 weeks ago about this, right? About saying how like I would want to be able to just pace guys to the boards, and like real life, there's not that much boarding in the NHL. It's like maybe a call you see one in every 10 games, and it has to be a pretty nasty, dirty hit to get called as a board.
Yeah.
Whereas we're seeing it, if you're going for a lot of hits like I have been, you're getting it like once or twice per game. And I've kind of learned, like, I've had to basically, it's like a slap on the wrist every time I get one going, do not hit guy into the boards, especially with truculence. Or like a guy can be 10 feet away from the boards and get launched and his arm clips the boards and it's like boarding. You're like, it's like, Mike, man, come on. It's not boarding.
Yeah,
but okay, as long as they fix it.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Wording. I love how they give the community feedback of like what it is. So community feedback. Boarding penalties are being called too often, and shoulder checks that are too far away from the boards or feel properly lined up. So they improved the logic for boarding penalties by tweaking when board penalty logic is checked to only be the first few frames of a hit interaction, not the entire reaction. So it just won't be called as much. This is the one that kind of worried me. And on stream, everyone in chat said that like this isn't the case, but fixed an issue where shoulder checks and push checks on opponents without the puck may not be called interference if they were within close range of the puck carrier. That sounds like they're getting rid of the defensive zone interference. And if they get rid of, I don't think it's a hockey play. I think it should be interference, 100%. But the problem,
the thing you do.
The thing I do. If you take that away, it's
you need intercepts to work.
The intercepts have to work. If they don't, then the game is absolutely cooked. So,
it's funny you say that because I had some Sixes players in my old Discord that were telling me that it's going to ruin the game if they tune interceptions. I'm like, I don't understand how they figure that out. But they said that there's no ways to score in this game. I disagree. I think since the patch, it's actually the wrist
You
shots
just
have
shoot.
helped.
You just snipe. If you
Yeah,
look,
you just-
if you look and you set up your shot for a half second like a wrist shot, if you pay
Mhm.
attention to the goalie, I would say 9 times out of 10, maybe 8 times out of 10, they're one step to the left or one step to the right, like ever so slightly. And if you just stare at the goalie, you'll notice it more.
Which is a little bit of a skill.
Mm-hmm. And you just got
I
to
agree.
pick it very quickly, left or right. Bedard, oh, that's what I want to bring up. Connor
Unreal.
Bedard, I threw make it snappy on him, goal make it snappy. And I was like, you know what? This makes no matter what. If I flick up or if I take a wrist shot, it's basically 99. Dude, I
Yeah.
scored 2 goals in Hut Champs where I can't hold on to the puck with him in Division 1. I'm not good
Right.
enough to get him open because he gets thrown off the puck really easily, even with Unstoppable
Sure.
Force on. But man, I had a couple goals. Flick up. I'm talking straight, no wind up, no wrist shot. Flicked up, make it snappy, activated, hit the goalie, went in. Like his shot is just nuts. And so something to keep in mind. Those guys that have like 99 shot accuracy and power, like it's actually kind of crazy. So no, and then everything else is mostly World of Chel. From what I'm seeing, there's not much Hockey Ultimate Team. They fixed issues on game setup screen. They fixed a lot of the objectives issues in Hut Rush and Moments. So that was a major issue with a lot of them. I know it's not something you guys do, but they fixed a lot of the moments, like the one-handed deke and the lacrosse deke's not counting.
And Sellies.
Yeah,
Maybe they listened. Maybe they
Oh,
listened to
yeah.
our small.
Yes.
I think I griped about it a little bit just because I said like one of the fun things I thought was like just being able to like sell you and then go right to the face off. Like not like the whole like. It almost reminds me of the old Mario Lemieux game. I can't remember what year of NHL it was, where like the heartbeat, like the lights turn off and it's only on the breakaway. Remember that, Sleeves? And it was all dramatic. Like that's what the current thing reminds me of.
Well, you know what's crazy to me though is I've said this since the trailer for the game came out, is that I think this game just skews very old, and older guys just want, or girls, they want just traditional hockey, right? Like what a viewing experience would be like NBC, or like what, and even the way the game plays. You hear a lot of casual players be like, "This isn't hockey," like, you know what I mean? Like they just want to shoot, and sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. That's just hockey, right? And it's interesting because that was like a marketed thing, like their presentation package, and it's just not. People I just think don't want flashy. They just want the, I don't.
It was an unnecessary like ad.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think that they were
I want
trying
to be able to dive Selly into a guy's net when I'm up 5-0.
Yeah, there's something to that.
I want to be diving all
Puck
over the
chop,
map on these people. Oh, I miss that too.
the puck chop.
Hey, it's
Remember
good
in
to know.
NHL 22 when there was like the glitch, the Selly glitch, where if you scored, you could start doing crossovers and it wouldn't pan to the replay, and you could skate around. So back in 22, you could go for laps. So if you scored a goal, you start doing crossovers and it'll keep it on the screen. So for 30 seconds, you can be skating around the ice, going in front of their bench.
That's brutal.
Oh yeah, like in Rivals when there was the Rivals glitch,
Yeah.
and you're playing against a player that's like Div 5,
I forgot.
and you're
about
just
the
going.
Rivals glitch.
And I would just go for a lap on guys, and I would just be in front of their bench, going like stops and starts, and I would always be counting in my head to know when it was gonna pan. It was always be 30 seconds max. I would dive at the camera. I'm just soaring at the camera, and it's like, and then it goes to the replay.
You're nuts. Like you're brutal, dude. That's terrible, man. There's guys that have played you that listen. They're just like just losing their mind.
Yeah, I'm sure in the moment they're sitting there like, oh boy, here he goes again for his 5th lap of the game. Like I'd go behind my net, go back behind his net.
Oh my god, dude! So they added in 1 million jerseys as well. Most of them are European League jerseys, but they added in the Ducks anniversary ones, the purples, which is good.
Oh really?
Wild, because I had to basically kick and scream in June of last year to get the Sharks home and aways. But good to see that they added in those. That's pretty much all it for the patch, so not a ton. I think this is mostly for World of Chel, as they installed that. I was incorrect about the. I tweeted out like, oh, they fixed the AT&T issue that Padre brought up. They actually, the patch though, I didn't read. I read this is something I do. I don't know about you guys, but I read the first sentence of something that's like 3 sentences or 4 sentences long, and then I just guess what the rest of it says.
I did the same thing too. You texted me about it.
Yeah, I knew because I knew you did the same thing. So it said that it was we're addressing the AT&T issues, and then it's like second line is like we're installing a something to find a fix. So
Yeah, so like run
hopefully,
diagnostics on it.
yeah.
I really wish like everyone keeps talking about it too because like sure it has something a little bit to do with Nasher kind of blowing it up too. But
Mhm.
not only is it World of Chell, but I have like I sent Papa and Slee's video like I'll literally sit in the HUD menus like right now we're recording this at 7 o'clock my time. If I sit in the HUD menus from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night, I don't move for like minutes at a time. I'm just sitting there just watching my little thing spin and spin and spin. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like it's crazy. And I guess it's because I have AT&T. So it's I mean there's a lot of
Nothing you
people in
can do.
America with AT&T.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm kind of hoping that they know it's not just World of Chell. So if anybody out there at EA is listening to this, it's not just World of Chell. So look into it's like the whole game slows down or something at that time for AT&T users, and I don't know what the deal is. Like I said, and yeah, it's got to be fixed. I know we talked before the episode like about the previous patch since we kind of were going to talk about that the episode it didn't record. Like I said, I obviously harped on the force passes. Was there anything else that you guys noticed from that previous patch that you liked?
Oh, the puck possession or the I think that the full pressure meter is in a good spot. I do. I don't notice
Yeah.
it all the time.
It's definitely better.
It's better. It's gonna be something that takes forever to tune. I don't notice hip checks as much anymore. There's still some people that know how to do it when you're in your defensive zone and they like put their ass right at you at the last second to run it into the boards. But I don't
Mhm.
notice it nearly as much. I think it's all right. I don't mind gameplay other than the forces, um,
Yeah.
which is just so frustrating. Because I think the game might be in a decent spot, man. Like I don't know. I don't
I
know.
agree.
Like
I think I'd like the pressure meter or the full pressure thing to like on just like the dumb shots to go down a little bit, just like the ones where it's like I'm hitting the blue line turd.
yeah, it'd be
Get some,
interesting if
get
they could do by distance.
yeah, like if there's
Yeah.
any way, just because it's like I noticed some dudes that'll just like I watch like CJ142 sometimes. I'm like watching him play,
Fire it right
and
in right when they get in the
he'll
zone.
just get in and like boom on the zone, and it's like almost all the way up. Because I was talking about this with Sky because he played him twice, and Sky's like, dude, like he gets that full pressure thing all the time. He just comes right in, shirt on
Well,
net.
you
And what's
do
so
that.
funny
You get the
is it,
forecheck bump too. So when you fire it in for a rebound, it's
yeah.
a save, and then you also
Yeah.
get the bonus for
Well,
the
dude,
forecheck.
it's like all the five guys in the ice when you turn it. It's like they're all like Shaquille O'Neal. They just they get the puck back every time. Like how does the opposing team always get the puck back? It's
It's
like
because they're coming in with speed, and your defensemen stop.
yeah,
Right? They're
crazy.
stopping. That I agree is a little frustrating.
Just a little bit. Like I said, I'm not saying like it's but but all year long, I think we talked about this leading into this year. Like it's going to be a thing of tinkering
It
with the
is. It
pressure.
is.
You know, it's going to be a tinker. So it's like other than that, like I said, the force is the only thing that I have an issue with, just because like I feel like you should be rewarded when, especially if there's a way where you can I don't. There's probably no way to do this, but I think I told you guys this. Like, if there's a way to punish the people that play the CPUD, sure, punish them. But if you're playing manual D, like reward us for playing manual D. That's what we all want everyone not to skill zone. We want people to actually play D. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's funny. And on the last episode too, I forgot we also talked about the tier list you did with Eki, which now I feel like I wonder. Well, you haven't used Quick Pick yet. I do wonder if when you do try it, if your Quick Pick will go up a little bit in your tier list because we kind of talked
I
about.
think I put it in the okay one. I don't know
Yeah,
where I
yeah.
put it. It wasn't very high. It wasn't very high.
No, it wasn't. It's hard to test
You
things.
quickly went over that one. It's always been one of those kind of irrelevant,
Yeah.
100%.
non-hut abilities.
Are
Yeah.
you trying it out this weekend, Brent? I think I
I'm
told
gonna
you.
try it out. Yeah, I'm gonna try
That'd
it
be
out
fun,
because, like,
right?
at least for me, I want to be more confident that I can pick off forces and that I
Yeah.
can take away other things. Because if I'm trying to compensate too much for forces, I open up guys walking to the
Right
high
in.
slot, getting like a far side wrister.
100%. The something I'm actually gonna try because I kind of want to do like a video. I'm gonna get 12 to 14 wins no matter what. That's something about Hut Champs that like as a average player I'm kind of like getting over. It's just like because I'm like, all right, no matter what, if I get a good matchup or I win in overtime, I'll get 14. If I don't, then I'm getting 12. Like that's just how it is, which is making it kind of
Yeah.
boring for me. But I said this before, the captain's event which came out.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
forgot about
captain's event came out. I'm gonna make an entire born leader team because all of those cards have born leader, and
That's
I'm just gonna
fun.
see what happens. Because every hit, every block, every goal, massive energy boost to your team, and it's like, bro, if every single player on your team has it, like, like especially because it's burst too. Rivals, I'm gonna try it. You only play 3 lines, and you've got 60 AP. You can put 10 players of born leader on. So like, I'm just curious to see. Like imagine you're going up against someone and you're never tired. Like they're just their lines are, I don't know. It's just interesting. We
I wish the
rarely,
players were a bit better.
yeah, we
I
rarely
don't
get
know.
something where we can do this, but the entire event has born leader, which I think is kind of interesting. I will say this about the event because a lot of people are flaming on it. Um, I actually like this event not so much because of like the cards that are out right now, but you know how they release cards throughout the year? Like the captain card like makes sense. Like that's something that you could they could release future content for that like is kind of cool and interesting. Did you make any of the captains?
None.
I made
Too
I
Messi.
didn't make
expensive.
I didn't make any either. I talked to you about this in your stream a little bit the day it came out. I was like, honestly, like power up Lemieux, power up Messier is actually like better like long term for guys that plan on like playing longer, just because it only costs 140 gold cards to make them, and like you can get gold cards in this game in so many ways. Hut Rush, rivals,
For
you
sure.
name it. So and like yes, I know it costs power ups, but even power ups aren't that hard to get if you just play the game. Don't get me wrong, the Messier is really good. 99 draws. You made him, I think, and I saw you using him, and I heard you saying earlier, and maybe I just caught you like at a weird time. You're like, he doesn't ever score or something
No,
like that.
yeah. So
I'm
yeah,
never
so I did an
gonna-
entire champs run with him, and I got caught in the EA purposely releasing good content or expensive content to get you to burn your fodder. So I had all this stuff that I just haven't used because I was smart and just used, untradables for pretty much everything, whether it be team builders and whatever. And I'd
Right.
been like 2 weeks without changing my team. Like, and I hated my centerman. I just had Newendijk, and then it's like Giroud, or like I didn't have Gretzky or Lemieux, so I couldn't put them there. So I was like, oh, this is like annoying. And then Messier comes out, and I'm like, perfect, 99 faceoffs. I was like, that's what and silver quick draw, perfect. I don't know if I lost a faceoff, and he bumped everyone off the puck. Doesn't have truculence, but was great whenever you had anything physical. Dude could not score. And it's funny, I talked to people in my chat, same situation. Like I can't, like no one could score with Mark Messier's card, but I think that he's like a perfect third or fourth line center, which is so annoying because if he was just an upgradable card and you could upgrade him at your own pace and it doesn't cost like 230K in value without testing him, mind you, that's the big issue is that you can't test them.
Right.
And then, but you can get a free one. I've been grinding objectives to get it done, which is like the no money spent annoyance. I'll make a Ginla because he's my favorite player. One of them.
I made that Taze, by the way, from Hut Chance finally.
Good.
I love him.
I'm
I think
good.
he's
I just
phenomenal.
hate Jonathan Taves as a player, but yes, he
Yeah,
does look
I mean,
good.
trust me, he's killed us for years. So
yeah, I was
know.
gonna say, yeah, like
It's unfortunate, but it's one of those things where I'm kind of in that purgatory where it's like, okay, like we all obviously played for GWC, and if it's in like January or February for me, it's like I don't know how many good centermen like that are going to come out with good draws. Like, yeah, they might release like a sick Elias Pettersson, but Pettersson's never has good draws.
he's
you know what I
he's
mean?
never
So-
gonna be good for competitive play. The funny because we thought team builders, we had a few guesses, and you were right by the way on the Mike Medana one. I thought that was a really good call
I
about
did.
non like popular icons that didn't get MSP or power up icon art. That was a good call. We didn't get Sundin, and I feel like
He'll come.
he's a captain MSP or a higher overall
Maybe.
team builder. But I'm just thinking for the
Yeah,
captain's
because he's
event.
6'5". It's too early to have 6'5" team builders.
I think so too. Oh yeah, he's definitely the 93 or like the 96
Yeah.
or whatever it is, right?
93 or 96. He'll show up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
just go in
for
the
sure.
alumni. Just go in the alumni. You could probably put them together, honestly, if you start going through every team.
I'm waiting for Rob Blake. Rob Blake is definitely the next.
Stronger,
Blake,
maybe.
Lindros, we'll get it. Yeah.
Stronger will probably get it like when we're like really deep into the game, I'm guessing. But yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mr. 1507, Danny Heatley. He's
Bro,
gonna get one
it has
eventually.
why have we not got an MSP Danny Healy since he's been brought back in the game? It's been so weird to me that we haven't got because he used to be like one of those icons that had like was it 19 that had like the black card art that was like
17.
7. Oh my god.
97 overall. Yeah.
And then he wasn't in the
Yeah.
game for like 3 years. And they brought him back. He was in the alumni list, and he gets like good cards, like event cards and whatnot. But I don't think he's had a master set player. And I'm just like, man, give him, let him
Give him
cook.
the weirdest stats for that base icon. The weirdest stats
Yeah,
I've ever
dude.
seen. Making him so good,
Yeah.
but then have like bring his overall down due to his like hands and his checking. But he's 6'4", so he still plays big.
Exactly. But
I can't wait for that card to come out where it's high rated.
no, it'll be fun. But yeah, a lot of action, a lot of stuff to talk about in this episode. I'm excited for next week's episode because we're gonna get to try the team builders for a full week, the patch as well. We get to do a full champs run of all of that.
Hey,
So
if you get in a bad spot with champs, I want you to throw on the quick pick, Sleazy. If you start,
I'm gonna
noticing
probably
this
use.
stuff.
Like I said, Willie Mitchell.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna.
I want to
switch.
see what you think because you're. It's hard for me to like. I like asking people to actually like do it and like pay attention. It's like one thing to like do it and then be like, oh yeah, like I'll
for sure.
try it out.
I told you, like I said, I noticed it immediately with Willie Mitchell in one random play where he reached back that I was just like, I'm on stream was like, oh, and
Here's the 7 o'clock misery right here, chat. There it is. Can't load. It just takes
oh
an hour.
wow,
Molasses
you
looking,
noticed that,
holy.
eh? Jesus,
Oh, it's brutal, man.
and
It
it's
just
like
takes
clockwork, eh?
clock right at 7 o'clock, and then here we go. It's like, all right, take the time, load the team. Oh, there we go, and then, I mean, it gets worse and worse and worse. So yeah,
I wonder
that's
if
what
it's
I
also
mean
your
by.
old gen. It's technically you're playing the old gen
Yeah.
game that it's a little bit
Oh,
worse.
and wait till I get on LG here. I got LG in an hour, and I have to like last week to play. I had to turn on my game and like just sit there and like wait to get in the lobby. But I'm not leaving the lobby until we start, and I was able to play. I'm like, this is such a
Good
joke. Like,
lord, bro.
why am I doing this for this stupid? No, sorry,
Good
Tris.
lord.
This great. I love the league, but I hate the people that are part of the league.
Okay, so last week though in Hut Champs, I had the worst week yet
Yeah,
of all 7.
what happened?
I went
didn't get to see it.
16-3-1, and I sat there. I ended the stream when I lost my last one. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, well, I guess I just suck now. And so then it comes to Sunday, and my 8-year-old, he's like, "Hey, Dad, can we go play some Fortnite?" I'm like, "Sure, man." And so I'm up on my upstairs Xbox, and I have the 8-bit Do controller up there as well. I have one for each setup. And we get into the game, and all of a sudden, my aim just goes swinging everywhere. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was like, buddy, did they mess up the game here? Because they just had this Fortnite update. I'm like, is there something wrong with this? I went, oh my God. This thing has egregious stick drift. And I'm like talking, like, my aim is going all over the map. I'd stop moving. My guy is still like running. I'm like, okay, we have a problem here. I was like, okay, hold on, buddy. I'm gonna grab my other controller. I go down here, grab this 8-bit Do, go upstairs, plug it in. Same thing. I'm sitting there like, oh my God, this controller is broken. Like it has like the worst stick drift I've ever experienced. And I've only had these things for like 3 weeks. And so then I was like, okay, I'm gonna plug in my other controller. I plug in my PS4 one. Nothing. And I went,
oh no.
All right. Well, these controllers are just garbage.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I was like, then also I started holding the PS4 controller. I'm like, I'm not used to this thing anymore. This thing now feels like I'm holding like a little tiny like child's controller.
It's a PS5.
So
Here
I
it
was
is.
like, you know what? Xbox controller.
Oh my God. That's a jump.
I finally just said, you know what? I'm just gonna use the Xbox controller. I've been trying it like since like Sunday night. Monday, I've been playing a few games, and I'm starting to actually get used to this thing. And I'm not gonna lie, this thing at first felt like I was holding on to this monster brick.
Yeah, it is.
But now I'm finally starting to settle into it. It's only taken me, I think, 5 years to finally come around to this controller. But all it took was just. Thank goodness my son said something like, "Hey, Dad, come play some Fortnite." Yeah. I would have never known. I would have been going into next week because I was like missing passes where I went like, "Dude, I just have no thumbs anymore." Like,
passing. I know
my brain says go here. My thumbs feel like I'm pushing, like aiming at like a cross crease, but then like the puck will go like behind the net. I'm like, dude, my thumbs suck now. And I went, wait a minute, it couldn't be me. It has to be the game or the controller in this case. Of course, it's not my fault that I'm going 16-4. It has to be something else.
Dude, I have that. So I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty lately. I even started streaming it at night a little bit with some of my older buddies. And Warzone's coming out, which I'm actually kind of excited for the first time in like years. I played the first Warzone for like a week, and I just haven't played it ever. I'm just not a big fan of it. And I've been using like the Xbox Elite controller that I bought. I don't know why I have this thing, but I play on PC, and dude, I love it. Like it just feels solid. And then like I have this is like the PlayStation Elite Edge one, and this is what I use for Sony. And like I don't know, man. I just hate the consoles of this generation. Like I actually hate them. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a performance.
Like, well, first of all, I'm on my 15th PS5 controller. No exaggeration. I've said that.
Oh,
many
that's
times.
right.
Like,
yeah.
I have a PlayStation 5 controller graveyard because of how bad the thing is. So I bought the Elites because the stick drift is an issue. You can go into the settings and actually test stick drift, and so far so good. And I've played a lot. So, but no, we'll see. I'm excited to play the new Warzone though. I don't know if you guys.
We'll be ripping it.
Let's go. I'm excited. I'm gonna play tomorrow.
As soon as I get partner, I will start playing a little bit.
I love Warzone if it's good. It's just everybody plays it because it's free and like it's easy to play. Like even if you're bad at it, and like even if you're bad, you can get carried to wins. Like
it's skill based matchmaking, so like it's
right. It's fun. I'm down to play it though 1000% when it comes out. I'm excited.
Beauty. I'm excited. All right, boys, that's going to do it for episode 84 and a half of Coffee and Chel. Thank you again for listening. If you're on Spotify, leave us a like or whatever it is on Spotify. And if you're watching via YouTube, leave us a comment. We'll read it on the next episode. All right, fellas, have a good one.